Thanks for joining us. You're welcome to Shagalinko TV. This is a Saturday's edition, and this is saying happy Saturday to everyone. Okay, we are live and we're streaming on three destinations on Shagalinko Facebook page, on Shagalinko YouTube page, and then on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. So these are the three pages you can get us on. You can also drop your comments, questions, and all of that for our guests. We'll be having two guests today, and we're looking at challenges young people face in education and also in building a career for themselves. Young people are sometimes relegated to the background, and they sometimes are not asked what they even need or want or their aspirations and all of that. From the parents' angle, young people seem not to know anything. So some parents would like to just hand down information to young persons and feel that they don't know much and all of that. So we're looking at challenges young people face in terms of education, in terms of building their career. In life generally, we're looking at all of that. So please drop your comments in the comment section. If you're also watching us, do share the video right now to your friends and loved ones so that they can also be part of the program. If you're a young person watching from across the world, please do let us also know what you think the challenges are and how you think we can solve it. So we'll be reading your messages as the program progresses. Either messages, comments, opinions, questions for our guests. We'll be doing all of that. Okay. Okay, Abraham, I was trying to add you and somehow it all went off. Sorry about that break.
Okay,
Sorry, so
no
sorry.
problem.
You never can tell with network and technology. Okay, so I have Abraham
In
here. I'd like
Nigeria.
Abraham to introduce himself properly, and then we'll take up the discussion. Abraham, let us know more about you, who you are, what you do, where you live, and then we'll talk from there.
All right. Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Lange Ibrahim. Um, I'm a gender-based advocate. I'm also a peace advocate. Also, I'm a Youth Just Hope ambassador for peace. In Plateau State. I'm also from Plateau, but I'm also a student from University of Jos. Yes, I think that's just the little you could get from me. Also, I'm a volunteer for non-governmental organizations in Jos, Plateau State.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Abraham.
Yeah,
And for those of you
thank
joining
you.
us right now, please share the video. Drop your comments in the comment section. Would like to read from you. Abraham will also be here to answer some of the questions or sharing your comments. So please drop your comments in the comment section. You will need to get approval. So you need to get your comments approved, and then it will pop up on our screen, and then we can read. So if you're watching us right now from wherever, also let us know where you're watching from as you drop your comments and what you think about the challenges that young people face in education and in their career. Abraham, let me start with you while I wait for Aminah to join us. Let's even start
All
from the
right.
educational angle. There's so many strikes, so many ASU strike, polytechnic strike, colleges of education strike. What do you think about strikes generally? Because somehow it also affects the education of young people. So you
Of
find
course,
someone who is
of course.
supposed to finish school maybe at 24, 25, the person might be finishing at 29.
Well, for me, the strike is one of the mayhems that have eaten deeply to our university educational system. When you're talking about strike, also you are not going to consider just only the college or higher institutions. It affects both the primary educations, the secondary, and the higher education. So strike generally in Nigeria is one of our major challenges. In fact, I've been in that position, so I know what it feels like for a university or a high school, to go on a strike, especially when we know that we don't even have that capacity or that um, viability to handle those strikes. So strikes have actually been one of our major challenges in the country, and it has caused more mayhem than good to our institutions in Nigeria. And of course, as we all know, we will keep having such occurrences of strike, year after year, years after years, But I just want to believe that things will be well, you know, as time goes on. But
Hmm.
strike has actually been doing a lot of mayhem to our institutions in Nigeria.
Yeah, and it's also affecting our parents' pocket, because parents will time that their children will finish maybe 2 years or 5 years or 4 years, and then it goes more than that. Okay, I'll come back to you, Ibrahim,
Yes.
and ask some more questions, but let me take some messages here. And yes, if you're watching us right
Okay.
now, do send us your message. We're asking what are the challenges that young people face in education and in building a career. Do share with us your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas. Drop it in the comment section and we'll gladly read them. This one is from Jonathan Ajuma. It says, education
Okay.
is the key. Education opens all doors. Give a pen, not a sword, because pen is mightier than swords. Educate the young
Yes.
people, thereby boosting their confidence and building that self-esteem needed to thrive. What do you have to say, Abraham?
All right. A lot has been said in on that question, but I would like to go from the last statement where he said educate the. I don't know if you can repeat that statement again. The last statement
Yeah,
there.
educate the young people, thereby boosting their confidence and building that self-esteem they need to thrive.
All right. When you're talking about education, it encompasses a lot of affairs in life. Talking about education, you're not just talking about the four walls of the classroom. You're also talking about the education that youth or children get from homes. In fact, that is the first level of the education that any individual will actually get. So, educating a child does not solely depend on the four walls of the classroom. So, the manner and the approach in which family or spouses educate a child, has a long way, on how that child will become, in life. So I believe the educational system, the formal educational system alone cannot, you know, have that wonderful or bring up a youth to become whoever he wants to become. But I believe the family also and the society have a greater role to play in the formal organization and in the formal education and informal education of that particular
Education.
child or a youth. Yes, education. So I feel the
Yeah.
family, the society, and also the four walls of the classroom have important roles to play in the life of a youth. So I think that is the
Okay.
answer to that question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Abraham. I will read some more comments and messages as they come. So if you're watching us right
Okay.
now, do drop your comments and we'll be reading them. The program is Shagalinku, and this is the Saturday's edition. And I'm having Abraham and Aminah to join us. Aminah is here already. Aminah, if you can hear me, do introduce yourself and then let's take it up from there. Hi, Aminah. Aminah, can you introduce yourself so that our viewers will get to know you? Okay, so while we wait for Amina Abraham, I'll take some more
Yes.
messages here. I'll take some more messages
Okay.
here, and then you will respond to them. This one is from Abdul Malik Abdul Wahab, and it says, "Kudos to you guys for this wonderful, educational, and important topic. We'll be sure to support
Mm.
you through the program, God willing." This is from Abdul Malik Abdul Wahab. Okay. I'll take one more. This is from Kelvin Nimlam Tim. It says, I think we need to also look into our educational curriculum. We are limited in lots of ways and we are still backdated. What do you have to say about this? I think it's a very important point the person raised.
Yes, yes, it's a very, very important point, the person. Back then, the Nigeria, for example, we have a curriculum we follow. Most of our linguistics or linguists, we actually inculcate from the British. You understand? Now, if you observe, we have not actually been persistent in that order. You could observe that of recent, there are some high schools that they've come up in the country and they've inculcate or imbibe the American standard. You understand? Leaving
Mm,
our own curriculum that we initially borrowed from our colonialist, and that has caused a lot of controversy in the educational sector. You understand?
yeah.
So I feel I think and then updating our curriculum also has to do with a lot of technology because I feel the Nigerian government entirely is not even interested in building our educational system to a standard that could be upheld by people in the country. Take for instance, you find out that these days people even travel abroad just to get educated. It's not as if we don't have the capacity of building ourselves here. It's just because our governments have been reluctant, in assisting that, okay, these updated curriculums, are being brought down to our country, and then they have been taught to our youth or to our children or to people. But, so they, instead of paying attention on how to improve our technology, educational technology, so that the flow of the curriculums can come down easily to our Nigerian students. They instead focus on to get to those curriculum. So it all boils down to our government, it all boils down to our
Mm,
government on how they bring down those curriculum to our country and then help us to see how we could inculcate those updated curriculums to our youth in both high institutions, colleges, high schools, and primary schools. It all boils down to education. We have a policy in the country that is being guided in and that's why I just said earlier on that you could observe that there are different curriculum. We have the American curriculum now in primary schools. You could see that. So
mm,
if we have good policies and then we cannot implement them, then there is something wrong somewhere. So I think it all boils down to the government. If our policies are not working for us, they should rather change the policies. If we still want to maintain our policies, then there should be adequate and effective way of implementing those policies so that we don't get outdated, we get updated. So I think the government have a very large role to play, in such regards.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abraham. In case you just joined us, this is the Saturday's edition of Shagalinko TV. You can drop your comments right now for those of you watching us right now. What do you think about the educational system in Nigeria, and Africa, or wherever you're watching us from? And particularly, what are some of the challenges that young people face in terms of education, in terms of building a career for themselves, and all of that? Abraham has mentioned the fact about strikes and all of that. And when we started off the show, we also talked about where parents have, budgeted money that, okay, their kids will finish in 2 years, in 4 years, in 5 years, depending on the course or the higher institution of learning. and then strikes come, and some stay in school for 10 years. And then I'm going to ask Abraham these as well. While we wait for Aminah, I really don't know why Aminah's line is not connecting, but please drop your comments in the comment section. Questions, comments, opinions about what we're talking about, and where you're watching us from right now. Please do also let us know. The comment section is there. Please drop it there. Let's know where you're watching us from, your name, and then your thoughts about what we're looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you again, Abraham, since Aminah is still battling with her network, but let me see if Aminah is back with us. Hello, Aminah, are you there? He- Hello, Aminah, are you there? Okay. So we'll wait for Aminah to join us. But then I'll ask you this, Abraham. It's worrisome about the strikes in schools, and that leads also to young people not finishing school on time. Then there's this snag of NYSC as well, because you have to be at least below 30 to do all that. Aminah, if you can hear me, can you wave so we know you've sorted your network issue? Aminah, can you hear? Okay. Please, anytime you can hear us, just wave to us, and then we can let you join us. Um, yeah. I think Amina, your network is steady now. We need you to let us know if you can hear us by waving your hand, and then we can let you talk. But let me come to Abraham. So you must be under 30 to serve, and a lot of people, even though they started school on time, but because of the incessant strikes and all of that, can't do that. And then if you're lucky to even serve, when you come out of NYSC, you'll find that the jobs you will get, they will start asking you 5 years experience, 3 years experience, and then you must be 24 years or 25 years. Is it not worrisome? What do you think about that? But before then, let me put this message up here. Chioma Ote is showing us that she's watching. So Chioma, let us know where you're watching from, and do drop your comments. And if you're also watching right now, please share the link to your other friends and to your network, so that other young people can join us. It's a very important topic we're talking about today, because young people always say they don't give them a voice to express themselves. And today we're beaming the searchlight on young people. So I would really want as many young people to drop their comments and their opinions on what we're saying, because you can't always say they are not giving you a chance to express yourself. And today, particularly, we're looking at young people and the challenges, and you're not dropping your comments. So, Choma, thank you so much. But Abraham, let me come back to you. So, what do you think about the strike and then the NYSC palaver? And then when you come out, and then what jobs are telling you you have to be 24 years old, and you must have had 3 or 4 years experience. Where are you going to get that from?
Actually, that is a very big problem. And first of all, before I answer the question, I would like us to talk about the whole essence of the NYC, the National Youth Service Corps. NYC actually was formulated, I think, in 1963 or 67 or thereabout. The whole essence of NYC was to foster the unity and peace of the country. And then from that year till date, a lot has been done. And then we could also observe that of recent, the NYC scheme, the members of the House of Reps and Legislature, they wanted to take it down, to abolish that law and then do some organize something different. But we could find out that NYC in general has gone a long way in fostering the unity and peace of this country. And then you find out that most youths or students after graduation who served in different states, you know, have tried, and I've also learned to learn other people's culture. Some of them even got married while they were serving and other things. So the essence of NYSC actually can never be defeated and can never be underrated. You understand? But when it comes to our Nigerian educational system, telling us that before a student or a graduate can go for NYC, he or she has to be under the age of below the age of 30. I don't think that's proper, because our educational system is not even flowing effectively that a student or a youth can actually attain to that level. Take for instance, someone graduated from high school, um, let's say 2011, and then before the person, he or she gets admission into the university, it's like after 7 years. You know, we may know that it's not actually, it may not be actually the student fault or the youth trying to get. We know that maybe the youth might have actually tried several means of gaining admission to have an undergraduate degree. You understand? But because of the system, he has been delayed. You understand? So he's not to be held responsible. He's not to be held responsible. So I feel for me age, the age bracket of 30, you attaining 30, below 30, not being able to attend NYC, for me is not just it. I feel no matter your age, as a youth, you can foster the unity and peace of the country. You understand? So you being 30 or not does not really determine what role you have to play in NYC, as far as you are a citizen of the country and you have gone through the undergraduate processes, you know, being able to graduate from the university. And then I feel every member or every youth as an undergraduate is entitled to should be entitled to serve no matter the age bracket. I want to believe that the reason why the age bracket comes up was because of the civil service rule now. For you to be able to serve in the civil service, I think you have a minimum of 35 years to serve, and then 65 years of age. You understand? So they have the belief or the notion that after you being attaining that 30 years, you have just 35 years or so to serve in the civil service. So I don't feel that is just, it's just all those things are just policies. I feel that it's not necessary. I feel no matter your age,
Mm.
you know, as far as you have attained your undergraduate level, you should be able to serve and then contribute to fostering the unity and peace of the country. So the age limit for me it doesn't work. I don't. It's just absurd for me. It doesn't work.
Okay, thank you, Abraham, and thanks to everyone who's been dropping
Yes.
comments. Abraham and I will be reading some of them right now. And do please share the link
Okay.
of the video right now so that others can watch. I'm really happy with the turnout of so many messages coming in. Let me read a few, and then Abraham will take some of them as well. We've already read the one
Okay.
from Choma that said, Choma Otie says she's joining from Jos. And then we have
Okay.
Stephen Aronsi also saying, I'm watching from Umahia in Abia State. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
and yes, and then there's another one here. It says from Madam Adetoro Esther Amlambo. It says, watching from Kaduna, and I have youth here in Kaduna watching too. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Kaduna, stand up for us. Okay,
Thank you.
Abraham, read this one here and then maybe you respond.
The fan is not working.
It's okay. Okay, this is from Babangida Aliyu. He said, good
Read this one
afternoon.
from Babangida Aleyu. Yeah.
Almost all level of education. You will notice that in almost all states, there are communities that is having a population of more than 10,000 to 30,000 young people, but it will be difficult for you to see 3 to 5 government schools there. And most of these young people, together with their parents, cannot afford to pay the the private. Okay, I'm trying to get that.
The private, I think it cut off because I guess they're saying the private institutions or private schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it cut off from there. So what's the response to this?
Okay. Well, he's actually saying the truth. I'll always take us back to colonialism. You know, the quest for the amalgamation and coming together of Nigeria as one. You know, a lot of history went down in the north pertaining education, and to today, I think they have a flair of it, and that's why most of the not educated, not really educated people, or a large number of people not being well being able to get education from the north. And then considering that population, I think a lot needs to be done. Um, Considering the population, the local governments, the areas, I feel the government needs to do a lot to so that they can be able to reach down to the grassroots, the grassroots on how to also improve and encourage people to go for formal education. You could also observe that their informal mode of education is not also really proper compared to other parts of the country. You understand? The informal, when I mean the informal, I mean the family upbringing, family ties, peer groups. I think I just like I said earlier, it has a great role to play in the life of any youth or a child. So since there is no really a very a formable informal way of bringing up a child there because of the vast and large number of population. You could see the rough estimated numbers that Babangida gave 10,000 to 30,000, youths not being able to afford a very qualitative education. So I feel it all boils down to the government. If the government can be able, I'm not saying the government are not doing their job, but I feel we can do better and we can do more because there is room for more. There are young people that are ready to, sacrifice their time, their effort, just to also see that, things like this are being done. So if the government can be able to, put more effort in encouraging young people, to go to school, make government schools not to be too comparable to private schools. You could see the differences is clear. Who would want to
in
see a
quality
private
and quantity.
structure quality and then don't want to go for everybody wants to go for the best
True, true.
primary
Okay.
school, a health center or education. Yes.
Okay. I like you to read this one too from Sadiq. Sadiq Sabo. Sadiq, please also do tell us
Okay.
where you're sending your message from. It's very important for us. Do let us know where you're watching from, and then you drop your comment. If you're also watching us right now, do share the link. We're looking at youth, young people, and challenges they are facing in education, in career-wise, and all of that. I'll still even come back and ask Abraham what challenge young people face in the home front, because aside education, aside work, young people still have this problem with the family, parents telling children what to read, parents telling children what to do at some point. But just read this one from Sadiq and then respond.
All right. This is from Sadiq Sabo. He said, "Hi, Shangaliku TV. Thanks for bringing up this discussion. I think our curriculum is very limited. There are disciplines that are not included, especially in our tertiary education, and it is seriously limiting our opportunities as young people. As a youth, as a youth development enthusiast, I feel young people somehow at a disadvantaged position because of these barriers. Another thing is there is no specific time frame. There's not a specific time frame one is assured of rounding off his or her program. My major concern is why I think we have a breach there also. We have a breach there also.
Yeah. So just go on and respond from the one
His
he's
contribution is
written.
not. Yeah, we have a, okay, what I'm trying, I think what he's trying to say there is, yes, we have tertiary institutions, we have courses that people read, but we don't have an opportunity for us to also express ourselves, to give us the room to also implement what we study practically. For example,
Mm,
we have students that study maybe psychology, sociology, um, accounting, and then you find out that for the whole year they will be in the university, they will be in the four walls of the classrooms. There is no room to give them the opportunity to say, okay, this break, go
do
to a firm
practicals.
and practicalize what you actually study and try to see if you love it or you can do it. And that is why working experience, come in. So how do you send someone to 4 years in the university and then you don't send him to practicalize what he or she is learning during the break? And then when the person comes out, you're asking for working experiences. It's difficult. So I think that's where the person is trying to say. Yeah, that's what the person is trying to say. So I think a lot needs to be done, not just the theory aspect, but the practical aspect also needs to be, looked into.
Yeah. Okay, so let me come back and talk with you about challenges that young people face in the home front. A lot of times parents always see their children as maybe difficult, stubborn, youthful exuberance, and all of that. Do you think that there's a
Mm.
disconnect between parenting and um, children generally? A lot of parents will say young people of these days they don't listen. Young people will also say parents are forgetting that in their time or their era and
Was
now is
different.
not the same, and all of that. So where is the disconnect, and how can this disconnect be bridged?
Okay, the disconnect is actually much. There is so many dimensions to it. We're talking about parental and children, So relationship matters a lot, So the relationship, how a parent builds a relationship, you need to um, let that child know and have trust in you. If a child is growing up and then he doesn't have trust in you, there is no way he could actually build his relationship of trust with you. And when a child is trusting you, or when a child trusts his parents, there is nothing he or she cannot tell his parents. The child will be very comfortable to tell issues regarding education, regarding lifestyle, social lives, and then this way, when children tend to talk to their parents about the problem they face personally, they build personal relationship with their children, and then things become easy. There's an easy flow of communication between the parents and the children. Also, a lot has been happening from the parental side. Actually, I'm not going to be taking sides. So parents also need to understand that a lot has changed over time. Technology has changed, and then if our parents cannot be able to meet up to the recent changes in technology, it will also go a long way to affect the upbringing of a child, because a child is only, or a youth will only be used to what is seen around him daily. You can't take him back to what his parents have had or have encountered in past, and then transferring those knowledge will be difficult sometimes because the level of understanding too has been breached. You understand, the level of understanding has been breached. So I think parents also need to understand that a lot has changed over time. So when inculcating norms or values through socialization, they need to understand that our time and their time is different. You understand? So they need to understand how and when they need to go about this, and that's why some of our youth actually find it very difficult to communicate with our parents because they don't we will not really understand ourselves. But that is the reason why we have the formal organization or the formal institution or education. They fill in the gap where family cannot, or parents cannot fill in the gaps. So if our parents are trying to bring us up in a traditional lifestyle, I think the formal institution is there to what, to add up and then adjust that side, those gaps that will be filled, and then it's now left for the youth now to be able to pick and say, okay, this one I will pick, this one I will drop, because you can't pick all
All of them.
means of socialization. Yes, you can't pick all of them, whether formal or informal. You pick the one that you feel is valuable. You pick the one that you feel, and that is where confidence. That's where also parents have a lot to do in the socialization of a child for him to be able to take strong decisions. So I think that's just it. I think that's what I have to say on this one.
Okay, thank you very much. We're still
Yeah.
trying to get Amina, but unfortunately, her line is still not connecting. So if you're watching us right now, we're wrapping up in
Okay.
another 10 minutes, and Ibrahim is still here to read some of your messages drop them quickly in the message column, the comment section, and we'll be reading them. This one is from Joseph. I doubt if we read this one before. Joseph John. He says, "Hi, is Joseph or John here? And I'm watching from Abuja. Thank you so much, Joseph. Please do share the video right now. We still have a couple of minutes to go. And yes, we might be bringing back Ibrahim to talk about some other things that time may not permit us to finish today. But just Abraham, I'd really like you to also talk about the normal trend now where young people, I know it's been there for a long while. People say get rich quick syndrome is a in thing, whether for young
Yeah.
persons or even adults. Yeah, but it's becoming a norm now for young people. Everybody wants to either hammer, to jackpot, or to all of that. What's the place?
Yeah.
What's the place of hard work? Because for people like you who are in school, other young people find it that you're wasting your time. I mean, some forums and I hear young people say education is a scam, but they are forgetting that
Yeah.
someday that education will pay. It may not come in immediately. They will tell you there are people who have even finished their first degree, gone on to do masters, gone on to even do PhD, and they are not having jobs. So why are you wasting time to go to school? That education is a scam. What do we begin to also look out and tell young people concerning hard work? Because somehow it looks like hard work is really not in the diary of some young persons.
Well, hard work. Even we as students, we have a formal institution that we go to sit in class and then we listen from people. It's because we have knowledge that we want to acquire. The professors and doctors that are teaching us in class or lecturing us in class, they also paid their hard work. It's their hard work that has made them professors and doctors. You understand? Whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to be a carpenter, you want to be a teacher, whatever form of profession, formal or informal profession you want to indulge yourself into, you must be ready to sacrifice. And then that sacrifice has to come with a lot of hard work. Now, for you to be hardworking, you have to have patience and tolerance. Some of our youths that have actually indulged themselves in other forms of attaining wealth or success is because we don't have the patience and tolerance. You understand? If we can be able to be patient, you understand, and tolerate our hard work, I believe we'll all get there. At one point in time, we'll all get there. I know it's not easy considering with the pressure we have from maybe family, you know, peer friends, peer pressure, and others. But I don't feel that is the right way or the right way of acquiring wealth. You understand? There is a formal way of doing things. And then if we can be patient, if we young people can actually be patient and be tolerant with ourselves, I feel we'll gradually attain and get to that level that we want to get there. It's not going to be easy. Even the politicians we see today driving their luxurious cars and exotic cars, having good houses, luxurious homes, they didn't just get there. They were patient enough. Some of them will tell you that I worked for so person for years before I was able to get an appointment. You have to serve someone. We know it's not, we youth, we know it's not easy. For you to make it, you have to serve someone. And then some of us, we don't really have that patience. Maybe the way we are being treated, we don't like it, you know. So we don't have that patience to follow the formal way of acquiring those wealth. You understand? So we can go to any length just to get what we want. You understand? But I feel if we can be able to be patient enough with ourselves, follow due process, and then with support from family and friends, because sometimes the pressure we get from our families, and friends is outrageous. You understand? It takes a dedicated, and decent person to be courageous to remain and follow the due process of acquiring wealth, going to school, staying after strikes, after years, going for NYC, trying to look for a job, a good job, but the wealth will actually come, but it will take time. Some of the politicians or the big people who are always looking up to, they don't just acquire this. Most of them made their wealth in their 50s and in their 60s. You understand? In their 40s, they were not really financially buoyant, but they eventually made it. They were patient enough to wait to get to that level for them to. They were tolerated to get to that
Yeah.
level. You understand? So I feel
Mm.
if maximum or majority of number of we youths can also follow those steps, I feel we could actually, get to a better place. All of us. We would definitely get there, but different times. We all cannot just get
Yeah,
there.
timing.
Yeah.
Timing is very of essence and of importance. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It's.
Yeah.
I wish I could go on and on and on, but sadly, Amina is not joining
It's
us,
very
and
interactive. I'm enjoying it myself.
honestly, but I think I'll bring you guys again for part two, so that by that time
Okay.
Amina would have sorted out her network and be able to join us. But take this last message we'll read as we wrap up now. If you can see it on the screen,
Okay.
please quickly read it and then let's wrap up.
Okay. This is from Victor Energy Bello. He said, "Good to be here watching from Jos." I think our Jos
Hmm.
people are actually representing us very well.
Yeah, they are. They are really repping your interview. So, Abraham, finally, as we go, what would be your last word of advice to young people?
Well, right now, I can't. I will just say, I will speak for myself, and I want to also believe that whoever that is watching this should also, life is not easy generally. We know the educational system is really outrageous and it's not really encouraging. But I believe that just like I said, if we can actually be patient and then push ahead, we know it's not easy. Uh, Read your books when you can, have fun when you can, but you should read more and have fun so that you don't tend to lose or balance the life. And then even while as a student, if you can engage yourself in either any skills, it's very important you can do it. I know the opportunities will not be available for everybody, but it is also important that if you have the opportunity to acquire any skill, you should also do it. And then if there are offers for volunteering in different organizations, if you can, if you can be able to avail yourself to volunteer, I'm telling you it's not easy, but if you can be able to be patient enough, to render your services so that you can be able to acquire skills and experiences so that when you're out of school, you don't just go out empty-handed. I feel I would also love to encourage that. And then generally, let's all just be good students to ourselves. Let's try to manage our educational system. We should always hope that things will become better in our educational system. The little form of formal organization we have in our classrooms, we should maximize it. We should maximize it so that when we go out there, we can be better and then we can be, up to the task in whatever level we find ourselves. I think that's what I can say for now.
Well, thank you very much, um, Abraham, for that. So that's been the size of the show. I want to thank everyone who joined us. Um, Stephen from Umai here, Babangida, Liu, Sadiq, and so many of you, Madam Adetoro from Kaduna, and all the just people who represented. Thank you all so much. Apologies that Amina couldn't join us today. I really would have loved a female perspective. We needed to have heard from our own angle and see what it looks like. I was also going to ask her a few questions on how young girls can keep up the dream alive, especially not when a lot of girls get married off at the age of 12, 13, even before they finish their secondary school. But so sad, her network is not even letting her join us today. But we'll do a part two and see how we can bring her back. She would have sorted all of that by then, and then we'll have a fuller house with her and Ibrahim. Thank you all for finding time to join us. Let's do this again, God willing, on Tuesday. We'll be looking at civil society accountability forum, the fight against malaria, HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and all of that. And we'll be having our guest to talk with us, Mr. Albano Anoyo. So he'll be here, God willing, on Tuesday to talk to us on all of that. That's on the Shagalinko TV Tuesday's edition. For now, I want to say thanks to everyone and have a beautiful Saturday and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Remember to like all our social media handles, our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, all our social media handles. You can get us on at Shagalinko TV. And yes, my Instagram and my social handle is also at Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari on all of them, and then you can keep the conversation going. The videos will still be here even after this edition, so you can watch because some of our guests and our viewers are from countries that are 6, 7 hours different, so they wake up later to watch. So do watch, drop your comments for us, drop your feedback. It's very, very important for us. So till I see you all again, God willing, on Tuesday, I remain Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. And thanks to my guest, Lange Ibrahim from Jos. Also, Aminah was also supposed to join us, but then no thanks to network, she couldn't. Aminah, just try and sort it out. We'll bring you back, God willing, maybe next week to do all of that. God bless you all and have a beautiful Saturday. Bye bye.